3. The 7 treasures were forth from the earth. The 7 treasures are gold, silver, lapis lazuli, crystal, mother of pearl, red pearls, and carnelian. They are considered treasures because of their rarity. In this world, whatever is rare is regarded as a treasure. Things that are abundantly found are not treasures. Dirt, for example, is basically very precious because people cannot survive without it. However, no one cherishes it. If you try to give people a handful of dirt, they wouldn't want it. If you say, "This is the most precious thing and I would like to give it to you," they take a look and see that it's dirt and they throw it on the ground. Why? Because dirt is found everywhere. Basically, the earth is very valuable, but no one regards it as such because it's all over the place. Thus, it is not a treasure. Water is also a very precious resource without which we could not live. Not only people, but all living creatures depend on water for survival. So the Venerable Lao Tzu said, "The highest good is like water. Water well benefits the myriad things and does not contend. It dwells in places that people despise, thus it is close to the way." Water brings benefit to all things and beings, yet it doesn't claim any credit. It doesn't say to plants, "It's all because of me, water, that you are able to grow so large and have such gorgeous blooms. Without me, how could your blooms look so pretty? You really ought to thank me." Water does not think like that. It dwells in places that people despise. Water dwells in the lowest places where no one else likes to live. Metal, wood, water, fire, and wood are all beneficial to people. Why don't people conserve these things? Because there is so much. Since wood is everywhere, people don't cherish it. Why do people prize gold? Because it is so scarce. Its scarcity is what makes it valuable. It is not found just anywhere. If you were to go to the land of ultimate bliss where the ground is made of gold, you find that dirt is valuable there because there isn't any. If you were to present someone there with a handful of dirt, they would cherish it the way you might cherish a piece of stone retrieved from the moon. It's just a rock, but because it came from the moon, it is priceless. When a worthless bit of dirt from the Sahara world is taken to the land of ultimate bliss, it is regarded as a rare treasure. The 7 treasures are treasures because they are rare and not easy to obtain. Since the Manjushri Bodhisattva has a limitless storehouse of treasures, at the time of his birth, the 7 treasures welled forth from the earth. There was an inexhaustible supply of them that could never be used up. Where are they, you may ask? They are at the place of Manjushri's birth. Can I go there? You should not be greedy. If you're thinking of going there to take some of the treasures, perhaps the cost of getting there will exceed the worth of the treasures. So quit having such a false thought. For the gods opened the treasuries. The well-turning sage kings have 7 treasures, a different list than the one given above, one of which is the guardians of the treasury, that is, gods to watch over their treasuries. The treasuries mentioned here were buried in the ground by people long ago and forgotten, and so the gods opened them and exposed the treasures to people, so people could take them. 5. Chickens gave birth to phoenixes. Basically, of course, chickens only have birth to chickens, But at the time of Manjusri's birth, they gave birth to phoenixes, the kind of auspicious bird. When someone sees a phoenix, it means something lucky is going to happen to them. In ancient times, Confucius once said, "The phoenix does not come, the river does not give forth the map, I should also stop." Earlier, Fu Xi had drawn the 8 trigrams in accordance with the drawings on the back of a turtle that came out of the river. Confucius says, "I'm going to stop. I don't need to preach about the way of virtue anymore." 6. Pigs gave birth to dragons. This is even more unusual than chickens giving birth to phoenixes. Basically, dragons are born from dragons and phoenixes are born from phoenixes. But at this time, the pig raised at home gave birth to a piglet that had dragon scales on its body. 7. Horses gave birth to unicorns. Horses ordinarily gave birth to horses, but at this time they gave birth to unicorns. The unicorn can be considered a king of beasts like the lion and the tiger. Unicorns are auspicious creatures. During the reign of Emperor Yao in ancient China, there were many unicorns and phoenixes, and everyone could see them. Later, as living beings' orphans karma grew heavier, these auspicious birds and beasts were no longer seen. In Huailing Chia, Confucius says, "In the times of Tang and Yu, unicorns and phoenixes roamed freely. Those times are no longer. What have you come for now? Unicorn, unicorn, my heart grieves for you." During the Tang dynasty of Emperor Yao and the Yu dynasty of Emperor Hsuan, unicorns and phoenixes often came to this world to roam and were seen by people. Confucius says, "The Tang and Yu dynasties are long gone, so why have you come? What do you seek? Unicorn, unicorn, I'm really worried for you." When Confucius was born, a unicorn had come and given forth a precious book from his mouth. His mother had tied a string around the neck of the unicorn. Years later, Confucius saw a unicorn struck down by a hunter and recognized it by the string around its neck as the same unicorn that had appeared at his birth. Seeing the unicorn struck down by hunters, Confucius knew that he did not have long to live. That's why he sighed and spoke the above verse. The 7th sign is that horses gave birth to unicorns. 8. Cows gave birth to white tsai. The white tsai is an extremely rare animal of white color. It's neither like an ox, nor like a horse, nor like a donkey, nor like a mule. It's not like anything at all. It looks like a horse, but it has the hooves of an ox. It's in a special category of all of its own. It is also an auspicious animal. 9. The grain in the granaries turned to gold. I asked one of my disciples, "Of what use is gold? Can it be eaten?" Grain can be cooked and eaten, but how can one eat it after it turns to gold? He gave a very intelligent answer, saying, "If you exchange the gold for money, you can buy lots of grain." I believe that. His answer makes a lot of sense. I didn't understand before, but his answer has certainly enlightened me. He also asked who was greedy, and I said I was. I'm greedy for all of you to become Buddhas quickly. That's what my greed is made of. So I don't want my disciple, the one who is fasting, to starve. I want to become a Buddha. I want him to become a Buddha faster. 10. Elephants with 6 toes appeared. As we know, elephants usually only have 2 tusks. At the time of Manjusri's birth, however, the elephants raised by his family grew 6 tusks. These 10 auspicious signs occurred at the time of the Bodhisattva's birth and represent the 10 perfections of the greatly wise Bodhisattva Manjusri, which make him different from other Bodhisattvas. If you want to meet Manjusri Bodhisattva, you should first remember these 10 auspicious signs. Then, when you see Manjusri, you can say, Elder One, you are an old friend of mine, the teacher who understands me the best. Why do you say that? He will ask. Why? I know the 10 auspicious signs that occurred at the time of your birth. When you recite them for him, he will be delighted and say, Yes, you are my old friend. He won't deny it because you really know him. If you don't know them, then although Manjusri Bodhisattva is not prejudiced, since you don't recognize what he's all about, he won't draw near you. The greater your recognition of him, the closer he will be to you. The reason we want to know the realm of every bodhisattva is because we want to be every bodhisattva's friend and brother. Every bodhisattva is our good and wise advisor. Each one of you will be good and wise advisors of bodhisattvas one day, so you shouldn't look lightly upon yourselves. The bodhisattva who contemplates the one's self. In Sanskrit, the bodhisattva's name is Avalokiteshvara. In Chinese, it is Quan Shi Yin, contemplator of the one's self, and Quan Ci Zai, contemplator of self-mastery. We should all recognize this bodhisattva because he is very compassionate. No one fears him and everyone knows him. This bodhisattva is like a compassionate mother who grants the wishes of all living beings according to what they seek. There is a popular saying in Chinese, Home, home, Quan Shi Yin, everywhere, Amitabha. Quan Shi Yin Bodhisattva is Amitabha Buddha's chief disciple. Amitabha Buddha is the teaching host in the western land of ultimate bliss. To his left stands the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin, and to his right, the great strength Bodhisattva. They are known as the 3 sages of the Western direction. When Amitabha Buddha steps down as teaching host, the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin will succeed him. Bodhisattva Quan Shi Yin will be succeeded by great strength Bodhisattva. Because the Bodhisattva who contemplates the world's house can manifest in countless forms to relieve beings of their sufferings. He is known as a greatly compassionate Quan Shi Yin. With 1,000 eyes, he views living beings tossing in the sea of suffering, and with 1,000 hands, he reaches down to pull them out. The 25th chapter of the Dharma Sutra deals with the Bodhisattva's miraculous powers. We shall wait until then to discuss them further. The Bodhisattva who has obtained great might. Whenever this Bodhisattva takes a step, the entire great Chi cosm quakes in 6 different ways. This is why he is called Great Strength. What are the 6 types of earthquakes? The first 3 refer to movement, shaking, rising, surging. The following 3 refer to sounds. The following 3 refer to sounds, banging, roaring, crackling. These movements are much more severe than those which could be caused by our biggest bombs. However, unlike modern weapons which wreak havoc. The 6 types of crazy couldn't possibly hurt anyone. The Bodhisattva who has obtained great mind is also known as the Bodhisattva of Bali's light, because one who sees the light of but one of the Bodhisattva's hair paws will see as well the pure subtle light of the Buddhas of the 10 directions. The Bodhisattva constant vigor. Constant means that he never quits. He never quits being vigorous in his cultivation. There are 2 kinds of vigor, bodily vigor and mental vigor. This Bodhisattva cultivates practices to teach and transform living beings. He is not like some of us who may start a project and then as soon as the problem starts to arise, abandon it in favor of taking a nap. The Bodhisattva constant vigor never sleeps, he just keeps working. He will pass through limitless compass trying to teach one single living being and help him to bring forth the heart of Bodhi. He may instruct him in countless Dharma doors, but in all time he may still be unable to save him. Despite the fact that he has spent so much time and effort trying to save him, he will never grow weary or become discouraged. If we would like to save living beings, we should follow his example. If in this life we are unable to save someone, we should resolve to try again in the next life, or the life after, or the life after that, until we finally succeed. On the other hand, if you notice that someone has been following you around, trying to teach and transform you, you should hurry up and take their teaching to heart and bring forth faith. That person may very well be the Bodhisattva constant vigor, who has gone to so much trouble life after life just trying to teach you. You shouldn't go on ignoring him. Listen to him. Mental vigor means that you never become discouraged, you never think it's too hard, and you never feel that there are simply too many difficulties involved in teaching and transforming others. Constant vigor is unflagging diligence.